Folks, it's great to have everyone here today as we gather hundreds of local Pittsburgh foundation leaders, nonprofits, NGOs, corporations, community leaders, as we start to think about Pittsburgh and what it will be in the future. Pittsburgh is honored to be selected as one of the 100 resilient cities in the world, chosen by the Rockefeller Foundation and their initiative to really look at what we are doing to allow cities to survive, to adapt, and to grow, no matter what the challenges that they face. Part of our DNA has always been the city that has been the resilient city. From the earliest days as a frontier town to the challenges that came with being the economic development engine of this country and the industrial heart of this world, a city that produced steel and at the same time created devastation to its environment and disparity within its economy. To be able to tackle those and to be able to build it again only to see that entire industry collapse and to be able to brush itself off again and be able to re-identify itself as the city that it is today. But we don't know what the challenges of tomorrow will be. We can start to prepare for them, but what it does require is that as we develop and as we grow, that part of that planning process involves resiliency and sustainability at the core of that decision-making process. How it is that this city will be able to weather storms, whether man-made or natural disasters, whether economic challenges or those that come with implications over the decisions that we've made in the past, will really be the true measure of what this city will be in the future. And we have to prepare for it. Those that don't prepare are doomed to repeat the past, and we know what the past has been with this city and how long it's taken to dig ourselves out. So it's my honor to be able to state today that we will have a Chief Resilience Officer in the city of Pittsburgh, joining those that are in 66 other cities around the world. Somebody who will be looking at all of this through a filter to be able to make decision-making not based on what is best for today, but what the city of tomorrow will be. Our sustainability manager, Grant Irvin, has been tasked with many different roles and titles during his year and a half in this role. He will now be assuming the duties of our Chief Resilience Officer. Combining the goals that we have set out from the very beginning of sustainability and expanding them to all the different realms of creating a true model of a city of resilience. It's my honor also to welcome Bryna from 100 Resilient Cities, who is the Vice President working with the 67 cities that have been chosen thus far by the Rockefeller Foundation. Bryna.
Certainly. It's Bryna Lipper. My middle name is Ann, just in case you need that. So thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. It's such an honor to be in Pittsburgh. As I shamefully admitted, this is my first time in this great city, and it will definitely not be my last. We've been so incredibly impressed with what we've seen so far, not only in the application, but the spirit that is rising here today in this convention center. I also wanted to thank members of the media for being here today. Members of the media play a crucial part in building resilience in every community. Not only are you able to help tell the stories of resilient individuals, institutions, and systems, but you can also help convey crucial information, obviously, in times of disaster, emergency, or high degree of stress. So we thank you for that important partnership and hope that we can count on you to help us convey to this great city of Pittsburgh their responsibility in building community resilience. So in case you missed the morning session, I just wanted to quickly cover what 100 Resilient Cities is all about. As the mayor said so eloquently, we are here today to think about the future. How does a city, how do 100 cities, how do 10,000 cities around the world prepare for future threats? Not only the disasters and acute shocks that they face, such as natural threats like hurricanes, hurricanes, earthquakes, or even man-made shocks such as a terrorist attack or a collapse of a piece of infrastructure, but also those long-term endemic chronic stresses that erode a city's capacity, erode its ability to respond, and erode its strength. Endemic crime is something that many of our cities face. For example, a lack of affordable and healthy housing is one of the issues that came up in this morning's session, as you heard. The ability of a city to not only prepare for those acute shocks, but also the chronic stresses, and creating models around the world in these 100 cities is what we have set out to do. In doing so, we offer cities 4 core services. One of those, as the mayor indicated, is supporting the appointment of a chief resilience officer, a leading city official who will help advise the mayor and guide other officials, as well as the private sector, and build partnerships across this community to help build municipal resilience. We also help the chief resilience officer by providing technical support for a city resilience strategy, a process that takes about 6 to 9 months to help diagnose the state of resilience today within the city and create that vision for the future. A result of that city resilience strategy will be specific and actionable initiatives that the city can undertake immediately and in the long term. Those initiatives might look like major capital investments, but they also might look like policy changes. We're working with cities right now, 23 cities around the world, to develop those initiatives and strategies. And some of the extraordinary things that are coming up, for example, are the city of New Orleans is looking at the intersection of climate change, economic opportunity for its youth and most vulnerable populations, and preparing for the major threats of the future, such as hurricane. They're looking at the intersection of transportation, as we heard today, not only for planning for those kinds of disasters, but also thinking about its economic future for a city. So New Orleans is rising. We're also working very closely with Melbourne, Australia, in their resilience strategy for the future. They're looking at really exciting things that hopefully will be in collaboration with the city of Pittsburgh, like water infrastructure systems. As you might imagine, a place in Australia doesn't necessarily suffer from deep amounts of flooding, but they have to prepare for water retention systems in the future and have a green and gray wastewater system. So Melbourne is an exciting city that's looking at the intersection between that, preparing for massive migration of the future to that country and that city, as well as thinking about biodiversity and climate change for its future. So these kinds of examples help illustrate how cities are preparing for an uncertain future and becoming strong. The third thing that we provide through 100 Resilient Cities is access to a platform of global partners, leading resilient solutions providers from academia, from the commercial sector, from NGOs and other institutions who have proven resilient solutions that the Chief Resilience Officer in the city will be able to access pro bono to a benefit to the city to help implement those resilience strategies. A couple of examples of that to help you just get a really good understanding of some of our partners is the Nature Conservancy, who is here today, is providing technical research and support to our cities to help understand the impacts of climate change, specifically in cities around the world. We're also working with companies like Palantir and Microsoft, who are looking at data integration systems so the city can make incredibly wise decisions for the future, as the mayor just spoke about. We're very excited to couple and assist the city with helping organize its vision around resilience and help the market solutions organize to provide the nexus between cities and the marketplace. Finally, we're offering cities access to our network of 100 different innovative and extraordinary chief resilience officers from around the world, who we hope will collaborate and work together on policies, collective funding opportunities, and research so that it can stimulate innovation within all of our cities. We know that cities learning from one another and creating best practices in this space is going to be one of the best ways to build resilience in the future. I mentioned this morning, for example, many of our European Union member cities have applied for a major grant together to build resilience within their cities, and were awarded over 150 million euros as a part of this kind of partnership. Those are the extraordinary kinds of things that we're here to help the city of Pittsburgh participate in. And I also finally wanted to recognize the leadership of the city of Pittsburgh. Part of our selection process in selecting the 67 cities that are with us today, and next year, the final third of our cities, is discovering innovation that already exists, finding leadership that is visionary, finding cities that will partner with us to not only receive in all of this extraordinary wisdom, but share their own wisdom with the rest of the world. When we saw the application from the city of Pittsburgh, we were deeply inspired by the visionary leadership of the mayor, by some of the transformation that is already underway in this city, by moving from economic disparity decades ago and moving into economic innovation today. We're tremendously excited for the opportunity to build resilience in partnership with the city, and for you to export the amazing things that you've already done and begin learning in partnership with all of these other cities from around the world. Finally, I wanted to welcome Grant as the first official Chief Resilience Officer in our second cohort of cities. You can imagine that when we name these cities, there is a high degree of interest within each one of them for people to become the Chief Resilience Officers. We have many hands that are raised in all of the cities, and it is the very, very rare creature, the very rare unicorn, who is able to take the helm of this extraordinary difficult job. Preparing for the future is not an easy thing to do, and having the courage to lead, build coalitions, bring together the private sector, bring together civil society, and implement this notion of resilience is not an easy task that we ask cities to do. So we like to call these individuals, these Chief Resilience Officers, are unicorns for the world. And what we know about Grant so far is that not only does he have the admiration and support and partnership of the mayor, but it seems to us that he's got a high degree of admiration, support, and partnership from 100 different people that sat with us this morning. And so we look forward to all of the amazing things that he will do in partnership with the mayor for the city, but to be a leader and an advocate for the rest of the world in building resilience. We look forward to the things that you can teach us, Grant.
Thank you. Thank you, Bryna, and most importantly, thank you, Mayor. It's actually a humbling experience, to be entrusted with this opportunity, and because of you, we wouldn't be here. The work that you've done, the leadership of Chief Lamb and Chief Ackland, and the guidance that you provide me each and every day has really helped us pull this application together, put us on this journey, introduce us to this wonderful team from the Rockefeller 100 Resilient Cities team, which is amazing to be not just a part of the network, but to share time and space with the people that make the team up has been extra special. So a little bit about kind of today is where I'd like to start. It's a great opportunity for us here in the city of Pittsburgh to be a part of the network, to share the Pittsburgh story around the world, but also to learn. I think that's one of the things in the short time that we've been engaged in the program already, the ability to connect with peers in places like New Orleans and Norfolk and Boulder, and soon to be a part of a network that is global in nature, and the connections that will bring to us, and the lessons that we can learn and the lessons that we can share is probably one of the most exciting things. Today's event is really about the kickoff of the community conversation of building a strategy to create a stronger, more resilient, more adaptable Pittsburgh. One of the things that we've learned in our short journey thus far is this need and the importance to intersect the worlds of sustainability and resilience. If we're not able to endure and we're not able to strengthen our systems, then we face an even greater challenge as a city. So the ability to bring the networks together that we have here today is extra special as you see the conversations brought to us from the leaders, from the community members of civil society, of the private sector, of our university community, of residents and community leaders is extra exciting. And to build that strategy is going to be a great journey. One that I feel, given the resources, the time, the talent that we have within the city of Pittsburgh as an organization, but also within the region that is Pittsburgh, really creates a special opportunity for us. So I thank you for this opportunity. I know that I'm up to the challenge. I'm going to have to get a unicorn hat, I guess, or a T-shirt maybe at least. We'll pass them all out to everybody because it's not one person that could build a resilient city. It's really a network. It's really a family that is the city of Pittsburgh that will make this a more resilient place. So I thank you. Thanks to the 100RC team. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief Lamb. Thanks to Chief Acklin also for his remarks this morning, and we look forward to the process and to build the strategy. Thanks.
Will this project look at some of the big problems like the limiting sewer overflows, and will you be engaged in that, or are you looking so much to the future that you're looking at something entirely different, or what role will you play in coming up with that new system?
Sure. So, one of the interesting things about my current job and my future job is that they mesh very well together. Going into as a new administration, you have a certain idea of the things that you'll be working on. One of the things that I didn't know that was on the horizon was the challenges that we faced with regards to combined sewer overflows. And specifically, that takes up about 30 to 40% of my time already in terms of working with existing or surrounding municipalities, aligning city departments and authorities, and coming up with some of the visionary next step strategies that the mayor has laid out, starting to pull that team together. One of the things that you've seen already in the conversations was an acute focus on the issue of combined sewer overflows and our challenges that we face with the Clean Water Act consent decree. Working with Jim Good from the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, the team at Alcosan, the county is time that the mayor and the executive team put a great deal of effort into, because it really sets the foundation for the future of Pittsburgh. Our ability to invest in green and natural infrastructure and better use our existing gray infrastructure creates an economic opportunity, creates an ecological opportunity, and probably just as importantly, creates a huge social benefit for our neighborhoods if we make those investments in a smart, strategic way. So that's absolutely a critical component of what this job will be.
Do you want to mention some of the discussion from this morning and the process moving forward with the community?
Sure. So the conversation that we've started here this morning, is broken into a couple phases. One is, in the morning session, we started by asking this simple question of what is resilience? What does it mean to you as a member of the Pittsburgh community? And what are some of the existing efforts that are already underway? Part of the strategy opportunity that we've already identified with the 100RC team and our partners at the RAND Corporation based here in Pittsburgh, not to slight any of the folks from Santa Monica, but we like the Pittsburgh team, is essentially looking at the existing efforts and how do we start to knit those together. But then also this afternoon, what we'll start to focus on is what else? What's next? What are some of the challenges that we might face that we don't know or we don't consider on a day-to-day basis? Issues of rail security, issues of infrastructure failure, social challenges are all parts of the conversation that have already started over across in the ballroom. The next step from that will be to start to put this strategy together. So continual intensive community engagement, so to get out to the neighborhoods, to connect with the civic and business sectors, with our nonprofit sectors. Already today, because of the 100RC platform partners, we've started to think about Pittsburgh companies, Pittsburgh resources that can become part of that 100RC network. So really becoming a part of a bigger story, and again, sharing our story with the world, but also learning from those other partners is going to be critical.
Any timelines for all of this? Where you'd like to be in 6 months, a year, or 2 years?
Sure. So the planning process is about a 6 to 9 month planning process. So we've already started a little bit of that legwork going forward by doing a series of 11 community focus groups. So we've worked with different sectors that we've identified everywhere from biodiversity to energy to water to waste, to start to ask some of these critical questions and to seed the conversation. Today's event is really about starting to bring that together, and then going forward, the strategy will start to materialize as we do more intensive engagement, a lot of identification of co-benefits, where one project might be a disparate effort now and how it can be integrated to create a greater leverage, whether that's with regards to manpower or economic resources.
Would the city be doing this without the whole program of 100 resilient cities?
So it's a great question, actually. I mean, the answer is yes and no. So as a part of the 100 RC process that we've come to recognize is that in some regards, as a local government, we do this every day. The idea that the challenges that come across, the mayor's desk or mine or Chief Lamb's or Tim's are kind of that's what we do. We prepare, we mitigate risk, we make strategic decisions. Sometimes it's on the fly, sometimes it's thoughtful. It happens different every day, and that's one of the great things about local government is it's dynamic. No day is the same other than the fact that it's going to be absolutely busy every day, which makes it fun. But what the 100RC network and platform gives us is that extra edge. It's the opportunity to bring the network of CROs together to build kind of that shared experience between cities. It's about the private sector partners through the platform partners, whether they're an organization like the Nature Conservancy or a private sector firm like Veolia who looks at energy and water issues. So the ability to connect them and provide that extra catalyst or leverage for existing projects is really what creates an exciting possibility for us. And it's going to allow us to move faster. It's going to allow us to move further and make some strategic investments, both in terms of manpower, the ability to leverage and bring extra people on staff, help us advance projects, help us communicate with the community better, and really to move things in a coordinated and more optimized way.
And is there a dollar amount attached, or is it not cash so much, but the expertise and access to the network?
So it's a little bit of both. Do you want me to handle that?
I'm happy to.
Would you come?
Of course.
Thank you.
You very insightfully mentioned that the cash amount, which is financial support to hire the chief resilience officer, is one of the is the grant that we provide to the city in a monetary value. On the other hand, the perhaps the greatest benefit of in-kind goods and services through the platform partnerships will, we hope, exceed millions of dollars to every city. We also think that the training, capacity building, and technical assistance to provide support for both the strategy process, but as well as train through the network and other opportunities will be a great benefit to the city in enhancing knowledge and capacity.
Any other questions?
Could I have one more moment? And Mayor, if I could ask you to join me. I have a little something. Maybe we could stand over here for a photo. I have a little something that I would like to honor you with, hopefully, that you can put on your wall, is welcoming you officially as a member to 100 Resilient Cities. We really celebrate your leadership, your vision for this city, and the opportunity to collaborate and learn from you, and you to share your best practices with the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have to tell you as well, we've already had a conversation with one of the other cities outside of the scope of it, and that was Da Nang, and we're already working on some ideas through American veterans on education.
Wonderful.
So looking forward to the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.